I don't think that it can be defended. What happened on January 6th was an effort by people who stormed a building in an effort to stop an election. I wish that as Republicans we had a nominee that I could get behind. I certainly can't get behind Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm. Are you considering being an independent at this point?
Oh, I think I'm very independent-minded.
Officially.
I just regret that our party is seemingly becoming a party of Donald Trump.
Yeah. You becoming an independent caucusing with the Republicans, is that something you're open to?
I am navigating my way through some very interesting political times. Let's just leave it at that.
In a stunning move, Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski seems to signal an openness to leaving her party affiliation behind and possibly switching to an independent. The implications of such a move would be monumental, considering the Senate is right now 51 to 49 Democrats or Republican. That'll invariably shift to 50-50, given the fact that Joe Manchin isn't running for re-election in West Virginia, meaning that Democrats are virtually assured to lose that seat. And then it's a game of defense, with Democrats trying to hold on to seats in Montana, Ohio, Arizona, Nevada, and Pennsylvania this cycle, which is certainly possible, albeit difficult. But if Murkowski were to leave the GOP, then suddenly Democrats might have at least an inch of breathing room that they didn't have before. Of course, that also depends on who Lisa Murkowski opts to caucus with. She could continue to caucus with the Republicans, in which case the GOP would still have control over the chamber. But then again, if she goes to the trouble of leaving the party, then presumably she'd try to actually send a message by doing so. And so there is the possibility that she could opt to caucus with the Democrats. After all, she purports to be pro-choice. Only one party is actually willing to protect women's reproductive rights. She claims to be pro-fiscal responsibility. Only one party is actually willing to cut the deficit, while the other adds to it while heaping tax cuts onto millionaires and billionaires. She claims to be pro-democracy. Only one party is willing to actually uphold the Constitution, and it certainly isn't the one that's lining up behind an insurrectionist. And that's the thing. She came out and expressly signaled her unhappiness with the fact that the GOP has yet again embraced Donald Trump. The only way to actually prove that she's serious about her purported opposition to him is to actually punish the Republican Party for empowering the guy. Now that she's planted her flag, now that she's come out and said it, if she doesn't put action behind her words, she will look weak and impotent. So now is the time to prove to this country that she's actually willing to stand behind what she says. And this move comes at a particularly bad time for Republicans. Just last week, Ken Buck announced a surprise resignation, shocking even those in his own party who didn't know it would be happening. Here he is defending that decision today on air.
You left Congress as of Friday, just as that was all going down. I guess that didn't cause you to rethink your decision?
Not at all. Not at all. No rearview mirror. Happy to move on. Dysfunctional place.
I mean, you must have been pretty intensely frustrated to not only not run again, but to leave early. And you're not alone, obviously. Mike Gallagher just said he's leaving too.
Yeah. Well, since this Congress started, there have been efforts to impeach the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Defense, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the President, the Attorney General, the FBI Director, and in fact did impeach the Director of Secretary of Homeland Security. Serious problems with setting priorities. We have a very tragic circumstance in Ukraine. We have a spiraling debt. All kinds of out-of-control problems, and we focus on messaging bills that get us nowhere.
And that was then followed by yet another Republican, Mike Gallagher, who'd already announced that he wouldn't be running for re-election, but then came out and said that he would be resigning from Congress early, also disillusioned with his party. Although I guess that shouldn't come as a surprise, given here's what he was saying on January 6th.
Right now, I am sheltered in place in my office because we have protesters who have stormed the Capitol, clashing with Capitol Police, forcing their way into Statuary Hall. The Vice President of the United States was just rushed off the floor of the House by Secret Service. This is Banana Republic crap that we're watching happen right now. And the objectors over the last 2 days have told me there is no problem with just having a debate. We know we're not going to succeed, so we're just going to object. We're going to have a debate. We'll voice people's concerns, and then we won't actually overturn our entire system of representative government. So nothing bad will happen. There will be no cost to this effort. This is the cost of this effort. This is the cost of countenancing an effort by Congress to overturn the election and telling thousands of people that there is a legitimate shot of overturning the election today, even though you know that is not true. We have got to stop this. Mr. President, you have got to stop this. You are the only person who can call this off. Call it off. The election is over. Call it off. This is bigger than you. It's bigger than any member of Congress. It is about the United States of America, which is more important than any politician. Call it off. It's over.
And of course, now that he's watched his party rally around that very guy responsible for that insurrection, that probably didn't do much to instill in him any more confidence in the future of the GOP. That retirement will bring the Republicans' House majority down to one single seat. That's it. Which I suppose shouldn't be surprising. Republicans swept into Congress amid promises of curbing inflation and lowering costs, and yet they haven't passed a single bill doing any of those things. Hell, they couldn't even pass a bill securing the border that was negotiated by their own party. All they were able to do was spend 15 months investigating Joe and Hunter Biden in a probe that was so disastrous, so baseless, that even when Jared Moskowitz himself offered to be the first to call for President Biden to be impeached so that we could just get on with the process of either impeaching him or not a single Republican was willing to second his motion because they knew that they weren't able to prove any wrongdoing and wouldn't have the votes.
What are you waiting on? Let's just do it. I mean, by the way, we got Chairman Jordan here also, the double chairman. Why aren't you guys calling for the vote in your committee? When is it going to happen? When can we tell the American people you're going to stop wasting their money and just call for the vote on impeachment?
Gentlemen, yield?
Sure.
We don't do snap impeachments like you guys. We actually do the facts. We do oversight according to the Constitution.
You're never going to call for it. You're never going to call for it. I mean,
now you can predict. You can predict the future. How do you know?
You guys only have 6 more months probably in power, right, until the election. So, are you going to do it in 2 months? Are you going to do it in 3 months? Like, tell the American people.
Does the Constitution put a time limit on oversight?
So
I don't think I didn't read that in the Constitution.
If you believe you can't call for the impeachment now, then what you're admitting is you haven't yet proven that he's committed a high crime and misdemeanor. You haven't proven it yet. Otherwise, you would call for it, I assume.
We're doing our work.
Okay, so they haven't proven it. Right? They haven't proven he committed a high crime and misdemeanor. Otherwise, we would call for impeachment. So look, the chairman knows me well. I mean, I'm just here to help him, right? And so I just think we should do it today. Let's just call for it. I'll make the motion, Mr. Chairman. I want to help you out. You can second it, right? Like, make the motion to impeach President Biden. Go ahead. It's your turn. You second it. No, nothing. Okay, we got nothing.
So yeah, in terms of why no one seems to want to be a part of today's Republican Party, it really is one of life's great mysteries. So hopefully Lisa Murkowski is willing to not just talk the talk, but also walk the walk and send a message to her own party, for the time being, that if they want to stand for Trump and his brand of election denialism and anti-constitutionality and un-Americanism, that's their prerogative, but that she's not going to empower them by remaining a member of their party. Before you go, I need some help. Please subscribe to the channel and do your part to help grow the progressive media ecosystem. I don't do sponsorships or paid ads, I won't ask for money, but just subscribing to this channel goes a really long way, and it helps get the message out to more people. The subscribe button is right here on the screen. You can also subscribe to my Spanish language channel, which I made to reach those crucial Spanish-speaking voters. That link is on the screen too. And finally, if you want to listen to my audio podcast, you can follow that link as well. Thanks so much for watching.